All right, how's it going, everybody? This is Robin One Kenobi, and welcome to my Wrestling Wednesday recap for July 13th, 2016. Decided to do this video because undoubtedly tonight, guys, was one hell of a night to be a wrestling fan. It was, in my opinion, the most stacked Wrestling Wednesday I can recall in quite some time. You had night 2, of course, of Ultima Lucha Dos on the El Rey Network. And then on the WWE Network, you had NXT with the marquee main event of Finn Bálor versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And then, of course, followed by that was the premiere of the Cruiserweight Classic. So, like I said, in this video, I'm just going to recap what went down mainly on the WWE Network. For Ultima Lucha Dos, I've decided that since next week is the season finale, grand finale, whatever you want to call it, instead of doing, separate reviews, I'm just going to do one big review of the entire show from start to finish. I will tell you guys this. Like last week's episode, this week's episode of Ultima Lucha Dos, great episode, guys. I mean, Lucha Underground continues to kill it, and I'm going to say this right now, and I know I'll say this most likely when I do my full review next week. But as of now, in my opinion, with how well Ultima Lucha Dos has been doing tonight and last week, I think this is the best show of the year so far. And we haven't even gotten to next week, which is the grand finale, and they undoubtedly have saved the best for last, because in that grand finale, you're going to get 5 matches, including the double main event, Prince Puma versus Rey Mysterio Jr., and Matanza defending the Lucha Underground Championship against the challenger, Cero Miedo himself, Pentagon Jr. And I just want to say that I hope that match becomes a Cero Miedo match, because that's what it has to be, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, guys, in this video, I'm just going to go through, just recap what went down on the WWE Network. Let's start with NXT, of course. It was the highly anticipated matchup, dream match between Finn Bálor and Shinsuke Nakamura, 2 renowned veterans in Japan. Of course, Balor's Irish, Nakamura's Japan, but 2 renowned talents who made their name in Japan and who have ultimately become 2 of the most beloved stars in NXT, duking it out in what I thought was just an incredible match, guys. I undoubtedly think it's one of the best NXT matches of this year so far. I have to give the slight edge, though, to Nakamura and Zayn. I mean, that was breathtaking, as it was incredible. It was just, I don't know how to say it, but that match embodies what match of the year is all about for NXT. But this match right here, this is a match of the year caliber match between Bálor and Nakamura. It was just awesome match, and I love how throughout the show they built up to this match. That's one thing that NXT does great that I really want to see the main roster do in the future. They make these kinds of matches feel special. How they build up to them, they make them feel like one in a million. They make them feel like a must-see match. And of course, it's a must-see match. It's freaking Bálor and Nakamura in a dream match. But the way that NXT hyped up this match, because aside from Bálor and Nakamura, the other thing we did get on NXT, on tonight's episode of NXT, was the return of Samoa Joe. It was his first appearance at Full Sail since defeating Bálor in the cage match at NXT TakeOver at the end. And he cut this badass promo about, his interest in this match and how he feels disrespected because both of those guys are staking their claim. Once they win the match, they're staking their claim at becoming #1 contender for the NXT Championship. And Joe went as far as saying that, Nakamura is considered the king of strong style, but he was the one that brought strong style to the shore. So he straight up said, Nakamura, if you're the king of strong style, I'm the emperor, straight up. And if you don't respect my crown, I'm going to beat you down. I'm going to leave you battered and broken. And that was just freaking awesome. And then Rhino came out, and Rhino said, if you're the guy I got to go through, well, then guess what? I'm going to go through you to get to the top. Rhino pretty much saying he wants to fight Joe. Joe leaves the ring like the champ that he is, because basically he's the champ. So he'll fight Rhino on his time. But he said basically, hey, you want to fight? I'll beat you up. I'll kick your ass. We'll do it on my time. So we're going to get Samoa Joe versus Rhino next week on NXT, which I think is going to be a good, hard-hitting match. That was just great because Joe's a freaking badass as a heel. He's a great NXT champion. And that was just great how he called himself the Emperor of Strong Style. That was just freaking awesome. But like I said, guys, the main focus of this episode was Bálor versus Nakamura, which they hyped up with 2 great promo packages. Great opening video package for Mauro Ranallo. I mean, that guy is freaking gold. Why is he not on Raw calling the show, you know? So let's get down to the match itself. Nakamura and Bálor, like I said, guys, that was just an incredible wrestling match. I love how it started off. You had Nakamura and Bálor chain wrestling. You know, Bálor took Nakamura down with a headlock. And then once they got out of chain wrestling, they were trying to, you know, impose their strength on one another. Nakamura backed Bálor into the ropes. And he did that thing. He did that traditional swag style move where he has his head in his opponent's chest and he's doing those moves. Bálor spins Nakamura around, and then he 2 sweeps Nakamura on the head, and I marked out when I saw that. He won up Nakamura at his own game. Nakamura was all cool about it, but then he struck Bálor with a couple knees to the sternum, went for a stomp, and then a roundhouse kick, the same moves he attempted on Sami Zayn early on in the start of their match. From there, guys, it's just a great wrestling match. These guys really took it. They really took each other to the limit. Bálor hit this wicked drop kick to the knee, which not only turned Nakamura inside out, but almost hyperextended Nakamura's knee. And that was one of the key points of this match. Bálor working on Nakamura's knee because he knows, of course, Nakamura's legs are deadly weapons. Whether it's one of his kicks or a knee to the sternum or the Kinshasa, Nakamura's weapons, his deadliest weapons are his legs. So that was brilliant, brilliant strategy by Bálor to work on Nakamura's legs because he knew if you took out Nakamura's legs, Nakamura would be pretty vulnerable. There was great action throughout this match, guys. And what I liked was in this match, they didn't do a lot of back and forth, you know, near fall after near fall action. I mean, they told a great story with Nakamura utilizing his strong style, Bálor working on Nakamura's injured left leg. I just really love the storytelling because a great match doesn't always have to have great back and forth action, you know, false finish after false finish. Great storytelling like that and emotion can make a match just as great. But like I said, guys, this was an incredible match. There was a moment where Bálor went for his jumping soccer kick, not the Pele kick, but his jumping soccer kick that he can do from the turnbuckle or on the outside. He missed. Nakamura ends up knocking Bálor off with his own variation of that soccer kick. Nakamura, you know, hit knees to the back of Bálor's head, knees to the sternum. Bálor, I'm trying to remember that submission he got him in. Bálor got Nakamura in think the lasso from El Paso by Eddie Guerrero. He did a modified version of that. And then towards the end of the match, Bálor got Nakamura in like a grapevine kind of leg cradle. Like it was a grapevine but a cradle, but a move that was still putting pressure on Nakamura's knee. I'm sorry if I can't remember exactly what it was. I did take notes. Then we get to the end, and here's where the match just takes it to a whole new level. You have Bálor hitting a reverse 1960, a.k.a. the Bloody Sunday, on Nakamura. Nakamura gets back up to his feet. Finn hits him with the sling blade. Finn goes for another move. Finn goes for like a running drop kick, and Nakamura counters with this wicked shotgun kick, followed by a Kinshasa to the back of the head. And I didn't even realize it until Corey Graves, did his famous call, and then they showed a replay. But yeah, he hit Nakamura hit Bálor with a wicked Kinshasa to the back of the head. Bálor kicked out, making him the first guy to kick out of the Kinshasa. But when I think of the Kinshasa, I think of the actual one in the front to the face instead of to the back of the head. But still, that was a wicked Kinshasa from Nakamura. The crowd then started chanting "Fight Forever," just like they did during Nakamura's match with Sami Zayn. Bálor countered a second Kinshasa, with a double stomp to the chest. So Nakamura went for another Kinshasa. Bálor jumped up and got him with a double stomp to the chest, which looked like he drilled his knees into Nakamura's chest. I believe he followed up with another sling blade, and then Nakamura countered with a with a roundhouse kick, and Bálor, he was dazed, but then he countered with another sling blade. And then Bálor hit the shotgun drop kick into the corner. He goes to the top rope for the coup de grace. Bálor misses. Nakamura hits a Kinshasa from the top rope that lays Bálor out, and then he gets into the corner. He gets into his position, and you know what comes next. He nails Bálor with a picture-perfect Kinshasa, and he lays Bálor out. He keeps Bálor down for the 1-2-3. Shinsuke Nakamura defeats Finn Bálor in one of the best matches of this year, one of the best NXT matches of the year. Incredible match, guys. I was recording some of the footage for a live stream, so I couldn't really give them a round of applause. But Finn and Shinsuke, I'm going to give you a round of applause right here. Bravo, guys. Fantastic match. Freaking loved it. One of my favorite matches of the year, definitely in well, I don't know if I'll say it's in my top 10 yet, but it's definitely one of my favorite matches of the year, definitely one of the best matches of the year. Incredible match. After the match, Bálor and Nakamura had an emotional embrace, and the crowd chanted, "Thank you, Finn," because you pretty much know that Bálor's going to go up to the main roster after that. I mean, I don't see what else Bálor can do really on NXT. For Nakamura, what does the future hold? Well, he wanted to stake his claim with the NXT Championship. He said he can't be a champion until he beats the Icon, and he beat the Icon. And when you beat the Icon, you become the Icon. So now Nakamura, with the win, becomes the Icon of NXT, and now he has his sights set, on the NXT Championship. And you pretty much know what the main event of NXT TakeOver Back to Brooklyn is going to be. It'll be Samoa Joe defending the NXT Championship against I was about to say Finn Bálor, Samoa Joe defending the NXT Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. That should be an incredible match. It'll be the King of Strong Style versus the self-proclaimed Emperor of Strong Style in Brooklyn. You know that crowd is going to be red hot. I cannot wait. Kudos again to Finn Bálor and Shinsuke Nakamura for an incredible match. One hell of an episode of NXT. And once again, guys, round of applause. You guys put on an incredible match. Much love and respect to you guys. And next week on NXT, we're going to have yet another stack show, because in addition to Joe versus Rhino, which will most likely be the main event, we'll get American Alpha versus the Authors of Pain, which I honestly thought would have been saved for NXT TakeOver Back to Brooklyn. But you know what? I'm still looking forward to the match. Should be a good match. And then you'll get the rubber match between Bayley and Nia Jax, which will most likely have some implication on the NXT Women's Championship match for Back to Brooklyn, because you know it's gonna be Asuka and Bayley in the rematch, the much anticipated rematch for the NXT Women's Championship. But now that I think about it, what if they end up doing Asuka versus Nia versus Bayley in a triple threat match at Back to Brooklyn, and then at the following TakeOver event, they do the rematch, Asuka versus Bayley, in like a 30-minute Iron Woman match? That's a possibility. But I think a lot of fans would prefer Asuka versus Bayley in the rematch. Whatever match we get, it should be a great women's championship match at NXT TakeOver Back to Brooklyn. Most likely it will be Asuka versus Bayley, which I'd love to see. But if they do Asuka versus Nia versus Bayley, and then they set up an Iron Woman match at the next NXT TakeOver special in October or November, whenever, I'd have no problem with that. Because like I said, I'm sure it's still going to be a great match. But like I said, we're most likely going to get Bayley versus Asuka, the rematch. So you can pretty much expect Bayley to win. But if they throw us a swerve and Nia and Bayley fight to a no contest or something, it could be Bayley and Nia. Bayley and Nia and Asuka in a triple threat match. But we'll see what happens next week on NXT. But like I said, tonight's episode, just an incredible episode with that one awesome match, Bálor versus Nakamura, and that awesome promo from Joe. I mean, Joe's a great heel. He's a great heel champion. And he and Nakamura are going to just freaking tear the house down at Back to Brooklyn. I'm so excited for that. So moving on from NXT, we go to the premiere of the Cruiserweight Classic, the 32-man tournament. This was a very fun debut for the Cruiserweight Classic, guys. I was very excited for this tournament when it was announced. And tonight's opening night was just good, fun debut. excuse me. Props to Mauro Ranallo and Daniel Bryan. They did a great job as commentators. Of course, Mauro Ranallo does his thing, but Daniel Bryan it was a lot of fun to hear Daniel Bryan as a commentator. You could hear him get into these matches, and he knows some of these competitors in the tournament, like Kota Ibushi, because he's wrestled them before. So hearing Daniel Bryan on commentary was very fresh. I loved it. I took notes on each of these matches. Let's get right down to my recap. The first match of the tournament was Gran Metalik from Mexico versus Alejandro Saez from Chile. This was a good, fun opening match. It was very much a lucha libre style match. Very fun opener. You had Saez hit a springboard dropkick early on. Metalik then hit a super kick, a vicious super kick to the sternum, followed by a top rope Pele or senton over the top rope. I do not remember what Mauro Ranallo called it, but it looked like a senton. It was a really nice move. Saez retaliated with a roundhouse kick to the outside. Metalik was on the apron. Saez was in the ring, and he knocked Metalik off with a roundhouse kick, and then hit a wicked shooting star press off the apron. Back inside the ring, Metalik countered. I forgot what the move was that Saez was going for, but Metalik got Saez into the corner, hit him with a wicked corner clothesline, and then followed it up with a fireman's carry pile driver. A fireman's carry into a Michinoku, somewhat of a Michinoku driver to score the win. Nice debut from Gran Metalik. His mask reminds me a little bit of Aerostar from Lucha Underground, but I did like what he brought. I did like what both guys brought to the table, and that's just what I like about this tournament. It's a very fresh idea. You bring 32 of the best cruiserweights from all over the world. You have familiar faces like Kota Ibushi, Cedric Alexander, Tajiri, Brian Kendrick, but then you have new faces like Sean Maluta and Gran Metalik and I can't think of the other guy's name. Well, you get what I'm saying, guys. You have fresh faces like Gran Metalik, Alejandro Saez, Davari's brother, how you say his name? Aria, Davari, and Ho Ho Loon, and all these other great stars, TJ Perkins, that you may have not seen before or you may be introduced to for the first time. So that's what I really like about this tournament, the diversity, all these countries being represented. It's just a very fun, fresh tournament. And, I don't think they pulled this off on the main roster. So many props to much props to Triple H for putting together this tournament. Great opening match to kick off the tournament. Next, we had the aforementioned Ho Ho Loon from Hong Kong facing off against Davari's brother Aria Davari from Iran. This was a solid match. Davari has more of a hard-hitting style, and Ho Ho Loon has more of a technical high-flying style. So this was a good match. And one thing I noticed is that when what am I calling him? Ho Ho Loon took like certain moves, he had this smile on his face, and Mauro Ranallo was pointing that out with during his commentary. And yeah, it's like Ho's taking these moves, but he's smiling, and he's pretty much happy to be competing in a tournament of this caliber. So, that's just fun. That's great to see. That's what I like. And something else I really like about this tournament, guys, is at the start of every match, the referee brings the two wrestlers together. He goes over the rules with him, or he asks them, do they have any questions regarding the rules? Then he tells them to shake hands. They shake hands, and the match begins. So that's great. You see sportsmanship. You see diversity. That's just great. That's what I love about this Cruiserweight Classic. Like I said, it's fresh, and I just like seeing that sportsmanship, that mutual respect between these competitors. It's just something fresh. Kudos to Triple H for putting together this tournament. I mean, he did a hell of a job introducing the tournament in the video package. So, yeah, that's why I can't wait for Triple H to take over the main roster, take over WWE in general, because he knows what's best for business. Yes, that's his model, but it's the truth. He knows what's best for business. So, getting back to the match, Davari hit this wicked 360 roundhouse kick. Think how the Usos do it. They go for one roundhouse kick, then they connect with a second one. That was wicked. Ho Ho Loon retaliated with this nice counter spinning wheel kick. Davari then cracked Loon with a discus elbow. He went for the lowdown frog splash, which was, made famous by D'Lo Brown. But He missed, and then Ho Ho Lun countered, caught Daivari with a knee to the back of the head and a super kick, and then followed it up with a bridge and German suplex for the win. Like I said, it was a good, solid match. When Ho Ho Lun hit that knee, it sort of reminded me of the Kinshasa, but it's not as effective or deadly as a Kinshasa. Like I said, another good, solid match. Watching Daivari wrestle, he reminded me, he looked like his brother, like Sean Daivari. And in his gear, he reminded me of Muhammad Hassan. You know, I just thought that was funny. But I did like how he brought a strong, not strong style, but brought a hard-hitting style to the match. He didn't seem like he wanted to shake Ho Ho's hand at the start of the match. So that was, that was interesting. But like I said, this was another good, solid match. Next, we had Clement Petot, I hope I'm saying this dude's name right because I don't know how to pronounce it, from France, taking on Cedric Alexander from Charlotte, North Carolina. And Cedric Alexander, undoubtedly one of the fan favorites, clearly a fan favorite in this match. You know, he's an ROH alumnus. And Mauro Ranallo brought up the fact that he gave up a contract extension with ROH to compete in this tournament. That was great, that was great to hear. And, it somewhat acknowledges Ring of Honor, somewhat pays a little homage to him, but that was cool for Mauro Ranallo to mention that Cedric Alexander wanted to be in this tournament. He turned down a contract extension with ROH to compete in this tournament. That's what I want to see more of in commentary, in general, especially on the main roster. Give us something to get behind. How do I say this? Give us something in commentary that's gonna make us get behind these competitors like a Cedric Alexander, who's a fan favorite, but he's an underdog in this tournament. And even Mauro Ranallo mentioned that Cedric Alexander's local pastor didn't think he'd get this far. And Daniel Bryan even said that, aren't pastors supposed to be motivators? Aren't they supposed to lift your spirits up and motivate you to be your best? Go out there and encourage you to be your best and find, I don't want to say find God, but follow God, thank Him and Jesus for what you're blessed with. Aren't pastors supposed to be more motivational than that? And I was just like, I felt bad for Cedric Alexander when I heard that. And that's just what I want out of commentary. Make us get behind these guys. Make us feel for these guys. Why do we want to cheer them on? You know what I'm saying? So that was great. The match was a good, fun match and a very strong debut for Cedric Alexander in the Cruiserweight Classic. He hit this sick backflip head scissors into a Hurricane Rana that really got Mauro Ranallo excited. Cedric also hit a springboard clothesline into the ring. I'm trying to remember, what was that move? I believe Petot hit that soccer kick that I was talking about that Nakamura and Bálor each hit each other with in their match on NXT. He then turned Alexander inside out with this wicked discus clothesline. And then he went for, I don't remember what move he went for exactly, but in the end, Alexander hit this wicked move called the lumbar check. And I haven't seen a lot of Cedric Alexander. I saw him like a couple times on ROH when I was watching ROH last year. But basically what this move is he goes for a back suplex and then he drills the guy in the back with his knee. So it's like a back suplex into a double knee backbreaker, which was wicked. And Cedric Alexander got the pin with that win. Or got the win with that pin. Man, I'm sorry, guys. If I'm messing up my words today, I apologize. I still have some energy in me from just a great night of wrestling. And if you follow me on Twitter, you saw I posted a collage of the 3 big events going down tonight. And I said, exciting nights like these make me proud to be a wrestling fan. So I apologize if I'm screwing up, but I do have notes. So I'm not going like, what else did that guy do? I've learned my lesson. So yeah, good strong debut from Cedric Alexander. He got the pin with the lumbar check, helped him earn the pin, which helped him earn the win. Yeah, I know I just made a rhyme right there. But I don't think Cedric's gonna last long in the tournament, and you'll see why based on who he has to face in the next round of the tournament. So finally, guys, we get to the main event of night 1 of the Cruiserweight Classic, and this was undoubtedly the match of the night. This was an awesome match from start to finish. Kota Ibushi from Japan, the renowned Japanese star Kota Ibushi versus Sean Maluta from American Samoa. He is the nephew of Alpha of the famous Anoa'i dynasty. Of course, Samoan heritage, Samoan bloodline. Guys, this was an awesome match. This was match of the night. As Ibushi was making his way to the ring, there were fans that had the okay. You know how there's the Cesaro section on the main roster? Well, now we have the Ibushi section, because as Ibushi was making his way to the ring, there were fans holding up signs that said Ibushi section. I thought that was awesome. They already know who this guy is. So Ibushi, this guy's known for his kicks, because at the start of the match, he kicked Maluta in the leg with a wicked roundhouse kick, and Maluta went down. Maluta went down from one strike, which shows you how devastating of a striker Kota Ibushi is. He then cracked Maluta with a wicked stiff roundhouse kick to the sternum. Maluta then managed to knock Ibushi down. He went for the low down frog splash, and he missed. Ibushi hit a T-bone suplex. Ibushi then he was trying to get back at Maluta. Maluta counter, and then from the top rope with Ibushi standing, Maluta hit this wicked code breaker. So you got Ibushi standing, Maluta's on the top rope, he jumps off and bam, drills Ibushi with the code breaker. That was a wicked, wicked move. And then Ibushi rolled to the outside. Maluta hit a over the top rope somersault to the outside. He did botch it a little bit. He did botch it. I noticed it, but it was a nice move. And Daniel Bryan was giving Maluta credit for taking a risk like that, because Maluta's aware of the caliber of wrestler that Ibushi is. And I gotta say, guys, that Sean Maluta really impressed me with his showing in this match. I was really impressed with how well he did in this match. I really hope that in the end, WWE and NXT sign him to a contract, and that he gets to kill it on NXT, because this guy just really impressed me with his showing in this match. Ibushi connected with a nice series of strikes, followed by a standing moonsault. So he hit like some, I forgot if he did back strikes, but he hit some quick strikes followed by a roundhouse kick and then a standing moonsault. Maluta went to the top rope. Ibushi went for a superplex from the top rope. And Maluta countered. He knocked Ibushi off the top rope. And here's one interesting note. Ibushi just came back from having neck surgery, from recovering from a neck injury. And he took a few wicked moves to the neck, like a neck breaker. And Daniel Bryan was pointing that out. And he was concerned for Ibushi, because Ibushi was taking all these moves. And, one wrong move to the neck is no joke. Your career could be jeopardized big time, and your life as well. So that was great. Once again, Daniel Bryan on commentary, making us want to, feel for these guys, because Ibushi's taking these blows to the neck. And it's not like one of these blows really hurt him, but just how Daniel Bryan was calling it, that kind of a sympathy for Ibushi, not saying he needed it, but that was great. More great commentary from Daniel Bryan. I'm loving it, and that's just what I want to see in all of professional wrestling. And like Lucha Underground, I said before in my last video, they get it done really good. They do great commentary, and I just want to see that on the main roster. NXT does a great job of commentary too. I just want to see that happen on the main roster. So getting back to this match. So Maluta's on the top rope, and Ibushi hits this ridiculous Pele kick. He got the most ridiculous height I ever saw anybody hit the Pele kick. I mean, Cedric Alexander, he had quite some height with the springboard moves he did, but freaking Ibushi. I mean, I love AJ Styles' Pele kick, but Ibushi got air. Like, I never saw anybody get air. He knocked Maluta off the top rope with this wicked, wicked Pele kick. I think, I always say that AJ Styles has the best Pele kick, but Ibushi, oh my God, the height he got on that Pele kick was freaking insane. Whew. That was crazy. And then with Maluta on the outside, Ibushi ran to the turnbuckle, jumped over the rope, and hit a nice moonsault. They got back into the ring. Maluta almost knocked Ibushi out with this wicked super kick for the closest 3 count of the match. Well, the closest near fall of the match, I should say. And it got Mauro Ranallo out of his seat. I mean, well, not out of his seat, but it got him really excited. He was like, oh my God, the biggest upset of the night, of the year. It was just great. Mauro Ranallo, you are a freaking genius, my friend. You are awesome. But in the end, Ibushi with another wicked roundhouse kick, cracked Maluta across the skull, and then put him down with a sit-down last ride. So basically think the last ride, but then a sit-down powerbomb. So a sit-down last ride for the 1-2-3. Kota Ibushi, one of the big fan favorites to win the Cruiserweight Classic, advances in the tournament. But kudos to Sean Maluta for an outstanding effort in that match. He took the fight to Kota Ibushi. It was not an easy match for Ibushi. And I was really impressed with Sean Maluta, and I hope he gets a contract with WWE and NXT, and I hope he kills it on NXT. That was just an impressive showing. Congratulations, Sean Maluta. In a losing effort, you put on one hell of a fight against Kota Ibushi. And Ibushi is no pushover. Ibushi is no pushover. So that was just a great night of action, guys, to kick off the Cruiserweight Classic. So Kota Ibushi moves on to the next round of the tournament, and his opponent will be Cedric Alexander. And like I said, guys, I'm a Cedric Alexander fan. I like him. But you know he's not beating Kota Ibushi. Kota Ibushi's going to beat him up. But it should still be an awesome match. I mean, woo! Great night of action, guys. It's nights like these that make me proud to be a wrestling fan. So, WWE and NXT, kudos to you guys for putting on a hell of a show tonight. Incredible match between Bálor and Nakamura, excuse me, on NXT. And then a great, fun opening to the Cruiserweight Classic. You know, I enjoyed the show for the most part. I'm definitely looking forward to next week's show because TJ Perkins, the former Suicide, will be competing. Also competing will be Tajiri. I'm excited to see how Tajiri does in this tournament. You know, it's good to see him back. And I believe the guy's name is Akira Tagaza or Tazawa. He's really good friends with Apollo Crews. You know what? I'm gonna look this guy's name up. I forgot if it was Akira. I know his first name is Akira. I just can't think of his last name. So I'm just gonna look it up real quick on Google. Or Tozawa, I think. Yeah, Tozawa. Okay. So, Akira Tozawa. That's the guy who's going to be competing next week. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he brings to this tournament. So, like I said, guys, this was a great night of action, a great wrestling Wednesday. And it's like I said, this is the kind of nights that make me excited to be a wrestling fan. You know, great start to the Cruiserweight Classic. Very impressed with Sean Maluta's debut against Kota Ibushi. Very impressed with Ibushi. I mean, I knew who the guy was. I never saw him until now. Man, this guy is freaking awesome. Impressed with Cedric Alexander's strong debut. Really enjoyed watching Grand Metalik, and props to Alejandro Saiz for his showing as well. Really looking forward to just the rest of this tournament. This is what I want to see in wrestling. Fresh concepts like this, and just some of the best international talent going out there and having some of the best matches of the year and whatnot. So kudos to WWE and NXT for tonight, and kudos to Lucha Underground, of course, for an awesome follow-up to night 1 of Ultima Lucha 2. I mean, the Gift of the Gods Championship match was great. The death match was freaking brutal, and I'll get more into that when I review the show as a whole. So that's pretty much it, guys. I know I think I've been going on for almost an hour. I apologize. But thank you to everyone who tuned in. Thank you to those of you who watched the show live. Excuse me. Thank you to everybody who tuned in and watched. Thank you all for watching and listening. I am Robbie One Kenobi. I will be doing recaps of the Cruiserweight Classic because I just really enjoyed tonight's opener. And yeah, man, I'm just really looking forward to seeing how the rest of this tournament plays out. And kudos again to Finn Bálor and Shinsuke Nakamura for an incredible match. Thank you, Finn, for all the great memories on NXT. And I'm looking forward to what you do on the main roster. And I hope they treat you right and that you get an awesome push. So thank you all for watching and listening. I am Robbie One Kenobi, and I have to send one more shout out to the WWE and NXT for the great shows they put on tonight on the network, and for Lucha Underground for another great follow-up to Ultima Lucha 2 Part 1. And next week, We have night 2 of the Cruiserweight Classic. We have a stacked episode of NXT headlined by Samoa Joe versus Rhino. And we have the finale of Ultima Lucha 2 with the double main events, Pentagon versus Matanza and Prince Puma versus Rey Mysterio Jr. Cannot wait. So guys, of course, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and comment down below. Tell me what you thought of Wrestling Wednesday tonight. Which matches did you enjoy tonight? What did you think of Bálor and Nakamura? Who are your favorites to win the Cruiserweight Classic? And who do you think may be the dark horses of this tournament based on the competitors? Because I know Zack Sabre Jr. is in this tournament. He's no dark horse. He's an awesome competitor, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings. So I'm going to end it here, guys. Thank you all for watching and listening. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi. I am signing off. And this has been my Wrestling Wednesday recap, excuse me. And like I said, it's nights like these that make me proud to be a wrestling fan. Thanks for watching. Have a nice night.